All right, morning everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you got off the screens. Hope you're feeling refreshed. And hopefully most of you read the newsletter. All right, important to understand where we are coming into a new week. All right, this is a weekly chart. Quite clearly opening up inside previous week's range. There's your previous week's range. We're inside the daily. All right, failed breakout of the daily, opening up back inside on the daily so far, and we're building out liquidity in this huge high volume node of 2026. And I would say it will not be long before, a few more sessions here, and we will probably flip point of control up. All right, so just be aware of that. And that will give us sentiment going in for the rest of the year, because if we then stay above point of control, we've got a drive, and if we lose it, then we've got a back check coming. All right, we expect this area to rotate, don't we? All right, we expect this to happen a lot. All right, it might be happening again this week, and I'd say the news drivers are coming later in the week, so don't expect a giant move out early week. All right, do not expect that early week. Maybe it comes and something shifts macro-wise, but at the moment we're opening up inside. When we go to the hourlies and value, let's bring us over here. It's a bit bigger. There we go, and drag this up. All right, expected moves for the week. All right, if we're going to get there, are basically previous week lows. Make sure that's the case. No, they're not. All right, they're the midpoint low, that Thursday low, and all the way up here, 4 to 500. All right, so this is the bigger range for the week that's possible. Right, today the potential moves are actually both sides of value, and that's previous weekly value. All right, so down here, so we need to be aware of that. Do you know what else I need to put on, which we haven't done yet? Where is my Sunday open? There you are. All right, and we're coming back to test that Sunday open value. All right, so the new week's value. So I'll be watching today. Current week's value area low is this high volume node and previous day value area high. If we can base above that, then we're looking for a drive higher. All right, if they can base above that, we're looking for a drive higher up towards 30,000. If they can't hold above value from Friday, then we probably rotate Friday's value. All right, this rotation in here. If we see weakness under that, we have a big old fat node down here for previous week point of control, which is currently naked. All right, so if we lose Friday's value, we can trade down to point of control. What you need to be careful of, because remember, we're in a giant range, right, is a look below and fail and a trade up into value, a look above and fail and a trade down into value. But the more extreme levels are down here and up here, right? So I'm really interested in the market if we can get to an extreme early this week to give us edge, right? So I'll consider range rotation, base above, base below, look below, fail, look above, fail. This area I don't love trading in. Here and here, more preferable, all right? We can argue that there is a range here from Friday, absolutely true. But actually, the more extreme levels are at the edges, and we always know edges are what going to pay much, much better when we're in a rotational market, all right? Because if we trade in here, this is very probable. So we've got to be very careful trading in there. All right, gamma-wise, we pull this down. We're kind of neutral right now. Neutral to potentially positive transitional. All right, neutral lines here. There's your zero line. We did just sweep a lot of this, all right? The bid on Friday formed at that value area low. All right, there's your double bottom. And then we moved away from that overnight, and we're coming back to that level. So this is the same area down here we're interested in, as well as here. All right, and then here, rotation. Gamma-wise, like we talked about, neutral. No real big gamma until we get up to the expected move, 120. That was the same from Friday last week. We didn't make it there. So we'll see. If we start losing value, we'll go neg gamma on the intraday session. So it's worth being aware of that as well. But we'll see. We'll just see. I think this is going to be a choppy ride this morning is my anticipation. Okay, let's move this to a 5-minute. Move out to ES. Have a look at some of the broader market here. Let's just take the order flow off for a second. There we go. All right, holding put wall. You can see we're backside of this drive for sure. And if it fails to follow through, this becomes possible. All right, and I'd say this level here is becoming important. 780 up to previous day highs, 787s. All right, if they stuff that, I can imagine a deeper pullback coming here, especially if they lose this put wall. All right, because we don't have any put walls here, and the structural support here, we haven't washed any of these guys, and I can imagine it coming back down into this if we do stuff that. If we base above, right, and start to base above 780s, then that's nothing more than a 2-leg. And if they can hold that, then you're looking for that drive out, and then we're back into price discovery mode. All right, once we get back above here. So all-time highs are up here. We'll see. This is a very sensitive area right now, deciding if we're going to do a deeper pullback of range or if they're going to hold this pivot. All right, and look for the 825s. So I'd be watching 780, 775 for sentiment today. If you base above that, then probably a slow drift higher. If you can't, then rotational moves. All right, spiders. Same story, but it's going to be much easier to see as always. All right, 772 if you're trading the spiders today, that's your neutral line. All right, if we think about this as one big range, that's basically 50%. If you hold that, they're looking to drive out. If you lose neutral line, you're coming back and testing this area where we found demand numerous times. If you lose that, then we go much, much deeper. So I'll be watching for all dips to hold 772s and then base above 773s to move to 775s and all-time highs. If you lose 772s, you're watching 770s. If you lose that, you're probably going to go risk off in the short term. Right, Qs. You can see we're just ranging. Same kind of story. There's basically 4 levels that we're watching here, aren't there? All right, there's a giant range. Don't do that, for goodness sake. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, where we found the bid Thursday. We then found the bid Friday. They've then got stuck in Globex, and we're trading between these two. All right, if they get back over this, they try and trade up. Below this, potentially trade down. You can just split it into segments like that. That's how we range rotate. Right, you can see it, just S&R levels, resistance, becomes support. Resistance has not become support. It's back to resistance for now. If we flip that, maybe it changes. And this is still untagged up here. Right, and you can see the gamma is just fairly normal positioning right now. Slow drift possible if we start getting back into positive gamma for that move back up, but I think we're going to rotate. We'll see. Crude, to get through some of these. I'm going to zoom this out into a 1 hour. All right, slow drift up because we still don't have a deal done. We do not have a deal done, and Iran making new demands. So this is starting to hold now. If pullbacks start to hold 78, it's a little bit worrying. All right, because we can build sufficient liquidity, and if that's a failure to break lower, failure to break lower, failure to break lower, and we get some news, then this can start happening, and that will start causing inflationary pressure. Obviously, we get the CPI print later this week, which everyone's going to be watching, especially given what happened with NFP. All right, is that a one-off, or where are we at with it? VIX dampening, or was dampening. I'd be very cautious about this right now. If I just pull you out to a daily, right, this is the lowest print we've had this year. All right, with all the headlines going on and everything going on, that is the lowest volatility print on Friday that we've had this year. So we'll see. Can they keep this damp for a while? Or is this coming again? Is this swipe, this swipe, this swipe from these levels coming again? Look what happens usually when we get down here. We start to turn and go. All right, this was December last year. Very odd to see VIX this low given everything going on, but we'll see. We will see. Worth paying attention to. If we look at the mags today, opening up flat again in a range, in like a 3 or 4 day range. All right, there's last week. This is where we are. All right, so no big change there. If we look at the semis, I'm going to look at the socks first, all right, rather than the triples. Trying to hold above this range. Remember, this is trying to claw back a lot of damage that was done, folks. Right, you've got to zoom out bigger picture. All right, so if it can hold this level and base in here, it's trying to get up for some upside lift. If this is just a pullback and they start to lose this is a whole different ball game for the week. But at the moment, looks all right. It's holding on. And IGV has continued to be strong. We question whether it has the strength to base up here to keep going and lifting higher and higher and higher. The higher it goes, the better for our swing positions right now. One thing I do want to have a quick look at is 30-year before we do the individual names. Still looks somewhat dangerous to me. I know the 10 years coming back in, but this looks dangerous to me. All right, this is starting to look dangerous to me for a continued breakout. The 10 has started to cool off a little bit. All right, has yet to like fully break out. But if they keep holding here, 4 6s is going to be problematic. All right, let's do the individual names. This market can change very, very quickly if those start to go, I'll tell you that much. All right, all the way up here. Apple, slight gap down inside previous week's range. All right, we hit that cool wall on Friday and Thursday, and it's rolling back in. This is the middle of the range. It's kind of ugly out here, folks. You can see everything's going to be fairly similar. Amazon pulling back in, all right, after making new highs earlier the week before. All right, trading inside last week's range. There's your neutral line, 70s. That was the area I'm interested in buying. I actually want to see if we flush it and reclaim. That would be a much more positive outlook. But opening up, slight gap down, but coming into last week's levels. Goog. All right, same kind of story here. There's a slight gap up here. We're coming back to this big node that we've had on watch for months now. All right, big drive out. We'll see how we operate here into sort of the 48s, whether they can hold this or 50s and pin it. But opening up with a slight gap up, but again, inside yesterday or last week's range. Meta, right, that's a bigger drive out here this morning. Gapping up, pulling back in now to 600s. We'll see if they're willing to hold that 600s. That would be a very positive hold for them. 6 and just under. All right, if they can base and hold this after this break, right, they're looking for this move. If they fail that, that's really dangerous because that's 3 drives then into a peak level. So we'll see. But at the moment, looks pretty healthy there. Microsoft. Was that pre-market? Oh, wow. So pre-market hit 505s. Hit its cool wall already. And pulling back in. Same kind of story here on Softy. All right. Do 500s to 98s hold a bid? That's the question we're asking right now on Softy. And if they do, then we're going to start breaking out. If they don't, right back into the range again with a fail break. Nvidia. All right, slight gap down. Again, there's another one that's hit its cool wall pre-market here. All right, right, slammed into that cool wall, pulling back down and inside. All right, so the same thing now. You're going to need to break them, hold above. Otherwise, we're coming back down into range. And again, a little bit dangerous here. Few drives. If they come back down here and can't find that bid, they're in trouble. They need to hold the bid here or ideally break out and hold. Again, we have to watch that as a sector. It is cheap on the forward PE right now, Nvidia versus its colleagues. And Tesla coming back down inside as well. All right, that thing's not looked very good, but starting to find a bid last week with SpaceX. That's where the bid started to fall. That is pretty much it, folks. That is pretty much it. I do just want to have a little look at the Dixie. Let me just see. It still looks like it's cooling off a bit. That's the one thing that I've seen which looks all right for the market. All right, let's prepare here. Chop and slot. I'm going to be hands off here this morning to start with. Let this do whatever it needs to do. And we'll go from there. Let me turn this down a bit. That's a bit better. Yeah, we're opening up right in and around previous day's value area high here. So this is all going to be about, can you find acceptance above it or not? It's very, very simple. At the moment, the answer looks like no on that opening drive, but you know, we're in a choppy zone here, so I'm not really too interested in trading here. Just going to let it settle down for a bit. Let it make its decision here. So mag pushing back, closing its gap. Semi's just got slammed on VWAP to start the day. New week. No reason to force anything right now. Nice and patient. Whole week ahead. So we've closed the gap there early morning. Found a seller up there so far. Semis being sold from VWAP at the moment. That's causing pressure on this market. And they're going to come down and close their gap and they'll see if they find a bid there as well. Yeah, they come into their previous day close, a little bit front running that in semis as the bid starts to form in semis now. And if we hold value, if they are willing to bid value here, there's a chance to get all the way back up here again. I just want to let this shake out for a minute. If they lose value, the rotation starts of last Friday's value. So we can't get through previous day and we're back to previous day value area high again. Semi's back down to close the gap again. Mags did break out above previous day close, getting stuffed on it. Semi's trying to find a bid around previous day close. You can see it's a whipsaw early. It's unsurprising. Remember where we are on the daily. Remember where we are on the daily. Do you remember that video I put out? So I'm going to have to change the way I trade for a bit. It's going to be see money, take money. We're not going to look for massive moves anymore. We're going to like shrink. We're back there again, folks. We are right back there again. All right. The market's changed again. We are in liquidity building and range in the month of August. We want to be careful. All right, mag cannot get through PDC. We are a split mag at the moment. Tesla 0.25% down, Nvidia 0.25% down, Microsoft 1% up, Meta approaching 2% up, Google 0.09% down, Amazon 0.33% up, Apple 2.66% down. Right, they're not in alignment even within the mag this morning. SOX is green on the day, IGV is green on the day, mags is red on the day currently. There's the bid again from the semis in front of PDC. And now they are swapping hands. So mags now selling. All right. Mags now selling. And they're now bidding semis. The rotation has already started here, folks. It's already started early here. All right. So they've gone from selling the semis into bidding them. Let's get rid of this. Don't need that. All right. Selling semis early into the bid. And we'll see. And semi's coming back down to PDC again. And the rotation over and over again. Again, just flat here. I'm not interested in trading this garbage right now. Be willing to sit still. We talk about it all the time. There is no edge in here right now. All right, semis now officially closed the gap. Now, if we start to lose value here, we are going to rotate all the way down here if we start to lose value. So I will be interested if they start to stuff versus value area high now. Here's the rotation. See if we can trade this lower now into previous day point of control if possible. First time seeing a break. Semis very weak here, getting absolutely slammed here on semis. Is there a way to get involved? Here's previous day point of control. Big bar at these lows. He's probably going to be punished. I'll wait for this to lift back up a little bit and make a decision. I've put huge 400 lot buy here. Is about to get absolutely nuked, guys. Trying to get short in this. It's happened very quick. It's a huge move. Trying to see if we can lift up a bit before we rotate all of Friday's value. So if we can lift up a little bit, I will consider here because there's a huge buyer on here. I'm going to put this back on it so you can see him. All right, I will watch here because there's a huge buyer here, but what I'm more interested in is this move here. We've got to be careful around point of control. But remember, this is going to be choppy, but if we can lift a bit and trap, I'm going to look for this sell now. And this buyer here at 750s is getting slammed. All right, I'm a little piece on here. And I'll just take a break even if we pop above. Where I feel more comfortable getting short is up towards 90s. All right, there's my BE. I'll just take that off, let this lift up a little bit and make a decision then. All right, and I'll watch semis into PDC and see if they stuff this. Now, if they reclaim previous day value area high, it will be a long and go. So I'm watching for this backfill here to see if we can get short into this here, in towards 90s. Yes, holding. Watching semis here at PDC. If they stuff it or not, it's going to be sentiment. If they reclaim everything here, there's no play. Be a hold of point of control and then a rip back. And we will consider long if we base above value. At the moment, I want to lean short. But if we base above value, I will consider the long. Watching this carefully. I'm just trying to time this to see if we can see a big buyer come in and see if semis stuff PDC or not. All right, leaning on this now a little bit. Short side in this. Let's see if we can get some covers back to around towards 50s. Here we go. All right, beautiful. Covering some then on that big buyer. Now, there's a 400 lot buyer around 50s where I've just covered. That moved very quickly there, and that was a 50-point move in, I don't know, 10 seconds. If we break below 50s, we're going to have room to move. If we keep holding 50s, we have to be very careful. So stops moving straight in to protect 90s now. If we break below 50s, my next target is 689s, all right? There's 50s again being tested. I'd like to see us break below this and open up the door for the 690 retest. Here we go, testing him again. His actual level is 48.75. I'm calling it 50s. It's there or thereabouts. See if we can get under him to 400 lot buyer. Here we go. I'd like this to stay heavy now because we've just poked underneath him. The auction is looking pretty good down there because sellers aren't finding acceptance. So just holding to see if we can get continuation under him down towards 690s, which will rotate Friday's value. If we keep absorbing here, all right, my break even's up here. We've already covered some at 50 points. It's just whether it goes anymore or not. Buyers trying to absorb down there at the moment. Definitely trying to absorb down there. I'd like it to break lower here so we can get a runner to go, but we'll see. Here we go, 50s again. Are we going to see the continuation? Can we get filled down towards 690s on the runners? We'll pay attention to 700 as well. Big seller coming in down there so far, getting absorbed. If they don't get the break lower soon, we're going to come straight back up to those 50s above, so 90s above, sorry, so be careful. Manage your risk accordingly here. Here we go. More big selling in here, still being absorbed. I'm trying to see if we can get this runner to get to 690s. At the moment, there is someone on the tape who's saying, hey, we don't want to go down there. Hopefully we can get it. It's a big selling absorbed there. You can see it. Huge selling there absorbed. So we can come right back up to our break-even point here. It's very possible. Come on, give us a run a go early days. Let's get 100 point at the start of the day. Back into this seller again. Come on, punish this seller now. This buyer, sorry. Come on. You're right there. All you got to do is just one big break. One big break for us to get the runners. 690s, please. 690s. 400 lot here bidding at 40s at the moment. They've absorbed selling again there. So I'm just trying to hold this short from 790s to see if we can break low. Again, more selling coming down there being absorbed. 400 lots still refreshing here. So they're trying to bid in front of 700 from 737 to 400 at the moment. 737 to 700 is being bid at the moment. Looking to see if we can get continuation. You can see all this big selling is being absorbed right now. You can see heavy delta on the tape down here. You can see this A for absorption at the bottom on this new indicator is printing as well. But ideally, we break lower and we get the covers down here for our runners. New low of day semis. MAG starting to turn around. So the churn's starting to happen as well. All right, new low of day semis. MAG starting to turn around. So we're starting to churn a little bit here. Make sure your stop's been moved into the money here. Here we go. Come on. Come on. You know you want to. You know you want to. Down we go. Down we go. 690s, please, sir. 690s, please, sir. Here we go. 690s, please, sir. Well, I'll cover some into sevens just to be smart. There are two imbalances here, but I would 690s, please, sir. All the way down here. We're looking for these put walls and this previous day's value. All right, just be smart. Ideally here. More selling been absorbed there. I would not be surprised for this to come right the way back if they're going to pin these sellers at these lows. Semi's finding a bid. MAG trying to find a bid as well. I'll tell you what, if we break back above previous day value area high, there will be significant selling at the lows caught. Just so that you are aware of this, you must manage your risk. I'm runners only now. If we take out my break even and we base back above 810s, I will actually consider a long then. Moment's okay. Still just holding versus 790s. We need a break below 40s here. So you see absorption from sellers on that poke up to VWAP. A at the top. So you've seen buyers absorbing down here, sellers absorbing up here. My stop is back up here. Couple ticks in the money. Already paid myself. I will be locking some in here no matter what. A big nice green start to the day. The bubbles coming with the indicator. These are two separate indicators I'm working on at the moment, folks. All right, they're not launched yet. This one's more likely to be launched first. This one's still got a few issues. Like it didn't print, for example. There's a huge buyer here. It's because it's done on estimations because of how TradingView works. So I'm trying to get it as accurate as possible. This one's more likely to be available soon. All right, coming back up towards my entry here. The maximum we got out of that was 80 points. If we break back above previous day value area high and hold, I will consider the long. If we break back above here and hold, I will consider the long. We're watching this neutral zone. I'm about to stop out on a runner here. There we go. That's me gone. I'm going to make some decisions whether we're going to re-enter here for the short, all right, or whether this market, if we can we draw TradingView? If we poke and fail, we're looking for this. If we break and hold, we will have to consider this move. I cannot believe you've taken me out there for. There we go. Good. I say, please move higher after taking me out to the tick. All right, is your previous day value area high? Now, if we break and hold over this or reject this, it's important which one we're doing here. The moment there's failures there. So I will consider this short if we fail, if we poke above and fail back under. If we poke above and start to base, it will be a long extension of value. Semi's coming back to VWAP. Same level as before, so these 90s are important. Watching this carefully here, watching how this tape starts to move. That's a poke and fail into value. If we come back up and fail again, I will try and get short. Buyers will want to protect 60s, 50s, and 40s. I know those are whole numbers, but that's actually the big buying, the 500 lot buying came in, the delta came in at 60s. So they want to protect that. If this pokes and fails, I'm going to consider a short to retest that 60s if possible. If they break out and hold here, there'll be no trade on this. Remember, it's range rotation market at the moment. Zoom this out a little bit. All right, put a little small piece on there. Same level as before at 90s. Probably got a risk 8 of 5, so I've got a risk like 15 points or something. Starting to hold pretty well. Semi's back through VWAP. They suddenly found a bid. Mag now starting to sell under VWAP. They're churning. Comes the churn. They've just crossed. Still in this short side at the moment, that fresh position. But if semis break VWAP here, I need to get out to the upside. Because this thing will start moving. Here we go, I'm out. And here goes semis. All right, they get 15 points back there after 80-point winner this morning. That's fine. I'm going to let this dance now for a bit because we're midpoint of the orb and we're just right where we opened and they're starting to churn these names. And I will only consider longs if we prove that we can base above value. And until that point, don't move that. I'm not considering longs at the moment. We are not basing above value. Okay, you've been in here every day advertising. I've tried to give you a chance, but that's 3 times you've advertised your prop firm. In 3 days, you're gone. Don't come in here advertising stuff. Cheers. Goodbye. All right, still rejecting up here for now. There go the semis. So I'm flat at the moment. We caught some nice shorts this morning. We were short from after this drive. All right, we were short here. Now just waiting. And the short is here versus 90s. All right, we hit TP1. I would have loved TP2, TP3 down here, but at least we got some of it. Where was this candle actually? It was here. Okay, semis now right back at their VWAP. It's an important level. We're right back to that opening range. The question now is, are we going to base above value right from Friday, and are we coming all the way up here? It is messy. When I'm like zooming out, I'm looking at the H1, I'm like, haven't really, would have been better if we came and cleared out the lows 670s if we were going to actually move higher. It just looks like rotation still to me at the moment. There you go. That's the hold of value. That might have been the long opportunity there. Still unconvinced, but that might have been it, folks. That is the base above value. And gap fill. And this might be now the target if they can break and hold this. I'm still not convinced on anything, but there we go. This is why. I hate trading range. This is why. I'm not a range trader. Semi's holding VWAP again. Mag showing weakness here. Semi's just stuck at the VWAP. They are churning and churning the internals now. I'm just going to stay flat for a bit here while this makes up its mind. Yeah, starting to hold its put wall, but rejecting zero line. SPY a little bit weaker, actually, relatively versus ES at the moment in terms of gamma exposure. Semi still holding VWAP. So both the SOX and the MAGs now red on the day. IGV is the one bidding out 1.26% up. We are seeing buyers try and absorb down here, but this is the same level as before. It's 790s. This is kind of the over-under. So they can't base above value. They've lost it again. Now do pop start to fail again, and is there a new opportunity here? Those 760s are massive levels from this morning. So that's a clear rejection. This is the key level, and we're getting tight in here. If we pop and fail 90s to, what's this, 806s, I'll have a look. It's absorption down there again under 90s. Can we pop up a bit more? Missed it. Missed it. And this is the test towards 60s. All right, so 60s to 90s is key. I'm flat right now, but you can see huge buyer, 400 plus lot buyer came on at 60s, 90s and 805s are now key. So if we start to fail up here, we can try and trade a rotation down to 60s. If they hold 60s, we're done. And if they base above 807s, you want to be done as well. 807s to 820s if they base and hold that. Right, here's the lift. I'm trying to get short in this now. I've got a small piece on. I don't want this test of 60s now. So I'm short 90s or just under 90s. 83 was my fill. See if we can get 60s. And if we break below 60s, I'll target lower day. Here comes the test towards 60s. Don't be a dick for a tick here. Take a little piece here, please. And then see if we can break lower day. Exactly the same trade as earlier. Nothing's changed. Nice. Right, can we break this now? This is key. This is why we're paying ourselves here. So again, I'm runners only. Exactly the same as earlier. Paid myself some 60s. Runners only now. About to take my runner here. Left me in by a tick. Left me in my tick again. Out of this now. So runner taking exactly the same entry as before, but covering some into 60s. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Alex Trading coming, yeah, maybe. They are trying that big buy is still there, right? You remember, we're trading between these deltas. So this guy's, these sellers at the lows are caught underneath value area low. Big buy and then stepped in at 60s. 60s to 90s is the current rotation. We've traded it a few times. Same as a near lower day. They look dangerous to break lower here. If they keep rejecting 37.30s, they're going to break lower here on semis, and that might get you the wash. So if you're still in this is the same move. I'll see if there's a join here again. 90s to 60s is the rotation right now. Another poke above 90s and fails. Semis tapping low of day, finding a little bid here. If they break, we're going to slam. So just be careful. Are you going to give me any form of entry? I'm going to be careful here. So it will be the third attempt at the same trade. We're green on it twice. Don't want to push my luck. Right. This is just 60s. So you should have covered here. Some here at 60s. If we break lower here, you'll get them move towards low of day. You'll be watching 40s and then low of day. If they keep holding 60s here, you need your stop in at 90s. Decision will be made here soon. We're churning. Soon enough. We'll know soon enough. There's the pop and sell on semis. Can't get through those 37.30s. They can't do that. I'd expect a retest of the lows. Very tight and everything right now. And see those 60s being bid, 90s being sold. That's the rotation while they build out. If they break 90s, they're going to come test value area high. If they hold above that, there's a squeeze. All right, semis coming back to these 37.30 tests. This is key if they stuff this or not. There's the 37.30 sell. All right, semis should come back down and test these lows now, and then you're watching these 60s again. So 90s to 60s is still the rotation here. Nothing has changed. It is a 90 to 60 rotation here. Tight range. I'm flat and I'm waiting. I've had two goes at this. We're green twice. We'll just see now. 90 test again. And if they break through previous day value area high and hold, there's a potential long trigger. CD, what the fuck? Like, you are just the biggest twat ever, mate. Like, okay, here you go. Right, ready to suck my nut? If I can put this on here, if this will. Right, go and suck my nut. Fuck off, mate. You talk garbage. Right, so here's another guy that's just going. Give you the levels before they happen, right? You got enough. Bye. Can't deal with morons on a Monday morning. Get out. Get out. Insane. All right, 37.30 still rejecting on semis, but they're not seeing continuation breakdown. Mag are now starting to bid out, so they've churned these again. Don't worry. If you don't want to learn with me, if you want to go and just copy trade someone who doesn't know what they're doing, there's plenty of channels for you to go and do that. I suggest you get out of this one because I'm here to teach. And if you don't understand what's going on, you can learn with me. If you want to just copy someone who doesn't know what's going on because they've got two squiggly lines on their chart and they go to buy here without any understanding, please, by all means, fuck off out of here. There's plenty of channels that can help you do that. All right. Plenty of channels that help you lose money. Go over there. I'd much rather you waste your time over there than my time here. All right. Mag trying to find a bid here, showing a bit more strength here. ES starting to lift back towards high of day. and we're still stuck. Semis are stuck at these 37s. Mag's back to PDC. No, I'm not moving to a different session, mate. I'm based in LA. Like, I'm not getting up at 1 a.m. to trade. Sorry. Semi's still stuck. We're still in the opening range here. We've not moved outside of the opening range. So these are the only trades we've taken today. 90 to 60 was the second one, and then another stop out on the rest into here. That's all we've taken. Thank you very much, my kind friend. Learning from PA from you before, new to order flow. Just keep at it, my friend. Keep at it. It will come. All right, you can see we can't find acceptance over previous day's value area high, which is also current day's value area high. We're in a big D-shaped profile. We are going to keep rotating here. All right, this is the main area. If they base above here, possible expansion mode up to these. All right, if they can't base above here, then rotation of this. If they fail below this, possible expansion mode. Here's your churn. I found a place in Texas. I've put a bid in for it to rent for 12 to 18 months. I'm waiting to find back today. So we'll see. We'll see if we get it. And if I like it, then I'll buy. All right, here goes ES high day. Semis back to view up. Mag just got crushed on PDC, so they just swapped these again. There's Mag, there's Semis, and IGV's the only constant bid. These ones are playing games together. All right, this is since the open. Let's move this up. All right, that's your open. All right, Semis trying to curl off the lows after sweeps. Mag's now starting to move down. Software with the big print, which is good because we're long software, so swing wise we are very, very long software right now. We're starting to look good. Oracle another 1.3% up on the day. All right, I'm watching this to see if they're willing to hold above value here or not, or if this is a fail. Semi's now failing as well, so they're churning those now as well. Alex, the newsletter was spot on. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, so far doing exactly what we expected, right? Consolidation in those zones. I don't think we're going to have a huge week this week. I mean, if we look at the weekly expected moves, all right, it's 29.2 to 29.1 and 29.4 to 29.5. All right, so I think it's going to be a tighter week in general. Unless there's a huge CPI print. "24-hour view ups up here." It's this green one here. All right, rejecting value again, above values. We can't get through. We can get above value, but can't get through PDC. And here comes Semis back down again, rejecting view up back to 37s again. And here come Mag trying to hold a bid at 69s back up to PDC. It's just a churn. And I'm going to sit still until this is very clear on what it wants to do. I'm not going to be liquidity. Made some okay money here this morning. Big boy account's up nice. And we just wait. Waiting for some form of alignment to start, potentially. coming up to test the top side of the opening range. They are now starting to hold a bid at previous day value area high. So there's potential for a long squeeze through this for price to move back upside, and I am watching that now. I just want to like let this build out some liquidity here for a minute because I'm not yet fully convinced. They have just flipped in here in this pullback to some positive momentum, but we can't get through previous week close or previous day close yet, and I want to be patient here. I think the low of day, the auction at low of day looks quite good. I just want to see if they're really willing to bid and hold above 800s. And then are they willing to hold above these 50s? Otherwise, it's just a poke to close the gap and back down. There's the 50s. And then previous day high. If you did take this long here, a value area high, this is your next target, is 70s. And then you can actually target all the way up here at 30,000 if they're going to start holding the bid. Right, here's the squeeze up to 70s. And that's your previous day high. And value area high for this Sunday open is up at 900s. Here come the semis. And they're going to try and get up to 140s here. Might wait too long for that bid on value here because you're coming into TPs. Okay, here's the 140 push on semiconductors. If you are long from 800, 810 kind of area, this value area, you need to be trimming some right now where you are up into 70s. That's previous day high. And then have wish orders above because then you can target basically 900s and then 30,000s. That's basically what I'd be targeting. 900s, 980s, 30,000s on runners. But I'd be very careful here that it doesn't poke and fail because you're into the top side of value for since the Sunday open. So if they're just going to poke here, fail, they can come straight back down to those 800s, 810s again. And I'm going to watch if we do come back down there, how we interact. You're long from 742 from this point of control. It's good long. I think the better long would have been if we'd retested. Well, you were there or thereabouts. That's those sellers at 40s. If we had been able to come down here, all right, and show me that they're going to leave these guys stuck, which I guess is what we were doing here really once we held the 60s. But if we pinned those guys in, which they are now, it's a good trigger to use their pain at the moment. Legend. Thank you. Hey, Luna. Hey, baby. You want to say hello? You want to say hello? What's up? Just be careful of this sweeping previous day high and then failing for you guys that are long because everything's coming in together. She eaten. All right, you haven't taken the liquidity yet. Still, I would assume this is going to take out this red line above you. And then it's just whether, all right, we go back into rotation, all right, or they start this squeeze up to here. And that's really going to depend on whether these continue to bid together now or not. We're about to find out. All right, so there's your previous day high take. Big sellers coming up here. They are probably going to get punished if they keep trying to get aggressive up here. This can keep squeezing. Mag coming into previous day close, as is the semiconductors. This is huge sentiment for the day if we go red to green on these. More big selling here. Another 200 lot flying in trying to sell this here. It will probably get punished. And I'll be trimming your profits. For those of you who are long, I'll be paying yourself a handsome amount of money here. Right, mag through PDC, now back testing it. Semi's not there yet. Well, that was the hold. That was it. This little build out was it. I missed it. I missed it. I wanted one more test back in here to hold. Trying to be extra patient because I don't want to be caught the wrong side of it. Here comes a squeeze. Now you're targeting 900, 918, 30,000 for your runners. And I would say this level that we're coming into towards 900 is a big level. If you look at the H1, you look at that wick from 3 a.m. and then you look at the closes up at sort of 912. So these are big levels that we're coming into here. Right, semis back to 24-hour VWAP now. Now through the close. That was a significant buyer coming in at these highs at 890s. And I would say these sellers are in pain all the time you hold over 75s here. You break under 75s, the sellers are going to start to get their way. So just be aware of that, of this back test towards 75 here. That's where the sellers are. It's where they came flying in. It's right here, right now. This is going to decide whether you've got more legs in it or not. That's a good hold from buyers versus those sellers. So those sellers right now are remaining trapped. All right, absorption at these highs from sellers. Remember, 75 to 70 is where the selling is piled on. 75 to 70 is where that selling is piled on. Once you break below that, they're going to be in the money. All the time you're above that, they're out of the money, and your longs can continue to squeeze. You are seeing them trying to absorb the tape up here. I'm more interested in that delta point. All right, still holding above 70s. Nothing to do here. If we start losing the bid there, though, I think there's a wash coming down into these. So 70s, here is where the sellers are caught. All right, all the time you hold this, your longs from here, you can keep holding them. We lose this, this back test probably happens, and then I'm interested in what happens down here. And we should be positive gamma across the board now. Yes, we are. So slow drifts and rotations. Slow drifts and rotations. I don't think 880s is key. I think 870s is key, mate. And I'll show you why. Right. This is the outlying delta. 875s to 870s. All right. These guys here, these sellers are what's key. All the time you're above them, you can keep squeezing. There's your back test of 70s, 5s again. They just bid it again. That's your level, that previous day high kind of zone and just above it. That red line on your chart and just above it. That's your level. If they're going to continue to squeeze, they're going to have to hold that level. If they lose that level, the pullback starts. Semiconductors now pushing for New York session high. All right. That's what they need to do next. Mags is almost there. Semis need to get through PDC and push for that. If they can't, all this is a pullback into that first opening sell to be sold into. The squeeze continues here, so you're almost there. 9/10s. Here goes the semis back through PDC, approaching VWAP. There is absorption taking place up here. ES breaking out higher day as well. This is still the level. No acceptance there. Back towards 75, so we come to see if they rebid it again. All the buys in that last candle did not get their way. It was not huge, but that's where first rejection point. Mag pulling back in as well. Remember, 75s and 70s is the level. If you're long, you just need it to see it protect that. It's a 75 and 70s test again. You need to see this hold if you are still long. If you are holding runners, you need to see this hold. If they start to lose this, there is a bigger move all the way back down to 830s coming. I will maybe consider the counter trend short there, but I'm going to be more interested to see if we can bid and hold this level for a long back out. All right. Absorption taking place at previous day high there. Look how quickly they responded from that so far. So there's still willingness to participate down there. You're up 7K on a trade C bug. What's happened? Did they crash and you're making money? Oh, is the prop firm going to pay you? Still just holding here. No position for me. I'm waiting for a reset of this. I will consider legs of this. All right, I'll consider this. And I'll consider this. All right, I'll consider that. I feel more comfortable taking that. If we lose this rotation, I don't really want to play that. I'll consider the short down and I'll consider the long out, depending what it looks like when we get there. All right, I'm watching these 70s again. Still holding previous day high here for now. Sign of strength at the moment down here. Big sellers coming in here again into previous day high being absorbed so far. There's a willing bidder here at 62s. If we lose this, I might try the snap short back down and then I'll try and get long. Here we go. So do they stay heavy now for the snap short? All right, in short here now. Let's see if we can ride this down towards 30s. Take some partials on the way and then I can get long. Are you really just going to come 55s and go? You're not going to come 30s for a recheck for me? Come on. Come down towards... All right, stop moving in the money now because we're not drifting fast enough for me. Come on. They're bidding that high volume from the candle at 10.10. Once we break 50s here, we should get that pull back into 30s. And then if we hold that, I'm going to start thinking about getting long down there. Did just draw this out for you. These 50s are becoming important. I'm not going to fight this if they want to break back out. It just means I won't get the long I wanted, unfortunately. Semi's pulling back, mag breaking out. So they've just churned this again. Look at that. Semi's pulling back, mag breaking back out. They're churning. No alignment here. All right, I'm out of this. Out of the short. And I'll just probably wait now and hope that we come back in for here for me to get long. At the moment, we're not. We're protecting this side of it. I really want that. That's what I really want. They might not give it to me. Oh, just be patient. Hopefully they will give it to me, though. Mag's coming to pre-market high now. Man, you ain't going to give me a cheap fill today, that's for sure. Is trend your friend? Yes, but we're not actually in a trend. Intraday, maybe. But if you are only focused on intraday, you're going to get pretty hurt. You want to be looking at where we are on the daily right now. It's going to come do it now. Well, we'll see if it washed down here and hold 830s, 820s or not. Do I still use Apex? Yeah, they're better than they've ever been. Anyone who's saying they're not, and that's not about me being affiliate, they're paying out quicker than they've ever paid. If you if you don't get paid, you haven't stuck to the rules. It's that simple. It's the same with all the firms. Unless the firm's being liquidated, don't believe all the bullshit. Oh, here it goes. So stop me out just to do it. All right, I'm going to see if they hold their bid now into this LVN, if they're willing to soak the bid here. And I'll try and get long if we can. Ideally down towards 20s. Everything's being absorbed. From Apex, you get payout after 2 weeks. No. 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 Definitely not. Within days now, guys. It's much, much, much quicker. All right, Semi's getting stuffed a bit here. I'm still waiting for this to come back down in towards 30s and 20s to see if we can do a 2-leg and then hold this node here for me to bid out of. If we can't hold the node and we want to wash the whole thing, I'm not going to trade it. I don't really want to play the range rotation. I want to see if we can hold the bid. I don't mind if it dunks a bit deeper and then reclaims it. I just want to see if they're willing to hold the bid. This was the short I was looking for first time round to do this move here. And then I'm looking to see if they're willing to absorb this now. What we're going to have to be careful of is semis at 37s, 137s. All right, watching this to see if we're willing to absorb down here. Focused on the tape now to see if there's a long in this pullback. Might need to come deeper. We're looking for sellers to be trapped into key levels. That's the first response. I think we can come deeper still. Zoom this in a second. See the tape. I'm looking to long out of this node if we're willing to hold it. Ideally, they don't come for a recheck of 800s. Ideally, they want to hold this. I'm looking for a variation of this or this kind of thing here. Semis into that 137s now. All right, it's previous week close being held. There's value area high tagged. And we will see. We're about to see if we're going to rotate the whole of range or they're going to trap sellers here and then bid back out. And that's going to be dependent on the 137s on semiconductors, I believe. So this was the short I was looking for. So if you took the short, you want to be out 90%, 80% of your position. If you get very lucky, they rotate value for the session. But I would say your easy money short was down into this level, right? 30s to 20s. What did we just hit? 27. So you're there. You filled this in. Now it's a question of whether they're going to find a bid here or not. And if they do, I want to bid out. If they don't, we leave it alone because we can come deeper. And it's all on this 137 on semis. And they are right there now. And they are starting to fail. And semis might drag this market down if they want to make new lows. Back into previous day value area high here. See that bid off it so far? We haven't tagged VWAP yet. So I will not do anything until we get back and hold above this, and then I'll consider what's next. Where's that level? Who just came in there? All right, watching this for a long here. If we start to hold now, so this is what we just talked about. So if we can hold this now, this move here, hopefully don't push too far away without me. All right, starting to try and get some orders out here. I'm feathered into this here already, the 50s. I want to see it pull back and hold 30s really. Small size. Can we come back and hold 30s? You're not going to let me fill anymore, are you? He doesn't tell me what to do. He doesn't put the trade up. All these fucking people. I think we talked about this before it happened, as we always do. You're just not willing to learn. You want to go and watch, you know, some fucking idiot not teach you anything. And just put a trade on randomly. Go and watch Danny trades. Go and see how you do. Right, let's see if they're willing to hold this here. In towards 30s. Good hold. I want to see buyers step up here. What are we doing on semis? Good hold of 37s. There is some passive selling up here. It looks good. I want a little bit of a deeper wash and then just see them walk up here if possible. Nice. You're going to come down to 30s and show me. Can we trap some more sellers in here, please? Otherwise, we're just going to squeeze. Now, remember, upside, 68s and 75s. All right, that's where the sellers came piling in. Remember that. They are in control up there until we get back above them. That's why we're very small size here, waiting to see if we can regain some control. Mag's new high day. Max wants previous day highs here. Be very careful here if semis lose 37s. All right, I'm willing to bid on this if we absorb around 35s. I'm small piece long already, so that we're aware at 50s. I'm willing to bid on this if we can absorb 35s, as in like start to size in for this move back towards 70s. Very concerned about semiconductors right now. Nice. Mag dragging us up to previous day highs, helping lifting NQ at the moment. So again, Mag, previous day high, IGV, semis weak. We need this to turn and then we'll get the pro move together. Here we go. We're going to test these sellers here. 68 and 70s. So we're going to peel some off here. Haven't got hardly any size on, but we'll peel some off in front of this. That's where the sellers came flying in this morning. Looking good. We'll see if we can get higher day once we get through these. Right, peel some off here. Make sure you've paid yourself some here into 68 and 75. Once we break 75, I would imagine we're going to go 85s and then potentially higher day. But you must be paying yourself into these big sellers we had up here this morning. You have to respect them. I'm very concerned about semiconductors here in the rotation. They must hold 137 here, semis. If they do not hold 137s, they're going to go low of day and then they're going to go 131.30s or 131.50s quickly because they built sufficient liquidity. Mags are almost at previous day high. Come on, semis. Just hold on long enough for Mags to get up there and get us our TPs. Make sure you've paid yourself something up here, please, into 70s. Semis weak here at 37s. They got to hold these 37s. Come on, semis. Hold the 37s for us. Just get us our target, and then you can do what you want. Mag pulling back in front of previous day high right now. Semis are at a very, very key level. If they lose this, it can change very, very quickly. Understand that with your risk. Come on. Just hold on long enough. Come on, semis. Get back to VWAP for me. Come on, find the bid, and then we can lift all together. Come on. Right, there's a 75 tag. Seller's still up there. Once we get through 75, we should go 85 and higher day. Long as semis play ball. So one watching, so you understand, is over here. Right, we need these to hold this 137s. It's a huge level. We're trying to hold it here. This will help us. This push should help us now. If they're going to go back for VWAP, like I said, let's fucking go. Lift it. Lift it. Through to 75s, we should go 85s high of day now. Come on, baby. Come on. Complete that auction at 85 and then give me high day. Let's fucking go. Do it, 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 do it. 85 high of day. Definitely give me 85. Go. Go. You're almost there. Go. Come on. Fucking hell. Don't be a dick for a tick. Come on. 85, then high day. Send it, please, sir. Send it, please, sir. Almost there. You're like 2 points away there or something. Come on. Come on. Just absorb where these sellers were. Absorb 68s and above. Give me 85 and then high day. Come on. Do not come under 68s. Do not come under 68s, please. There's no way this doesn't print higher here. There's no fucking way. Mag's almost there. Absorb 68s, please. Absorb 68s, please. There we go. Hold those 68s, please. Don't come under previous day high. Need this to hold. There we go. Good hold. This has got to go back up now. And we need new highs through this current section. So we want this pullback to hold and then lift. Just need semis to hold on long enough here, please. Above the 137s. Once Mags takes out previous day high, that might be it for us. We're doing this dance around these 68s right now. Oh, semis, you pain in the butt. Well, there's my break even. Into 50s. If we reclaim, I'll consider it again. There's the trap to go. It's probably going to go now. Took my break even. Of course you did. It's probably, here comes the Alex trade as you get lift straight back up and through it all because they didn't finish the auction up there. So here comes the Alex trade. Fun, 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 fun. Yeah, it's definitely coming. That was the trap. They took my break even, then they're going to lift now. There's unfinished auctions above. They're going to go for it. Oh god, pain in the fucking butt. So this LVN is being supported by buyers now, and this is the look, and this is what they're going to go for. The only thing that will change that is if semis break 137s. At the moment, they're holding all right. You just got to laugh. You've just got to laugh. Here it goes. Go on. Go on. We all know what you're going to do. It's an 85 break to higher day. Go on. Fuck off, market. Can't do anything now. Go on. You cruel, cruel, cruel bastard. There it comes. A little bit more for the 85 break, and then you get the move. Thanks very much, market. What a fucking bastard. Bastard. It's all right. It happens. It's part of trading. It is part of trading. I would rather be protective when semis are being iffy than just have wide stops. All right, there's your 85. You should get that push to higher day now. Pay yourself because you are into thin levels here, so you should have paid yourself some more at 85. Hopefully you get the higher day. Once you get higher day break, you can target 910s and then all the way up here, 30,000s. And if you get really lucky today, we do have, all right, your biggest call wall today, which is also the expected move for the day, and it's also the big sort of supply area as we come into these 30,100. So if they change the sentiment today and we go into this grind mode, you never know, you might get it. Oh man, it is funny. It is funny. What funny old game. Funny old game. Man, they literally fucking wicked. Look at that. They wicked me by a tick. 50 I was at. 49.75 was the print. They got me by a single tick. A tick. Not even a point. A tick. We're now 50 points higher. All right, let's go back to teaching. Why we were looking long. Why we shifted long. All right, because previous day's value is where? Here. All right, so we lost previous day's value, we rotated point of control. We lost it again, we rotated point of control. We held it. Alex should have got long here. This was probably a bit asking too much for them to build out, but we came back to it, right? I don't just willingly long here. I wait for what? The reclaim of this, all right? Long, right? And then we're targeting back to the upside because we're now basing above this. Inside this, we play rotations. Above this, we play expansion. That's it. All right, and now you just have to watch these key players. All right, so if we think about earlier, I would say at 80s and above, buyers have struggled to find acceptance. All these big buyers up here have pushed to 80s and above have been rejected. 100, 70, 70. The sellers came in early today. They didn't really get rewarded, and the rotation is starting again. Now what we're seeing, semis back down to 137s again. I'm going to just genuinely sit this out for a minute because I want to see what's going to happen because we're now starting to see mag pull back off highs and semis approach the lows in that 137 again. So we'll see if they rotate this again. I want to see what they do in this LVN. The tick was a tick. Yeah, the tick was. I was the last fill. I was the last fill. I know. I know. Yeah, it's okay. It happens. It happens. It's okay. It's okay. Mag still holding. They're holding the pullbacks. They haven't taken out the highs yet on the mags. So if that can go for previous day high push, as long as semis don't break down at the same time, you might get the move. I'm flat now, folks. And just being honest with you, I'm flat. I got taken out break even on this one. All right, I joined here. This was your target, and then high day, and then through this, if they're willing to hold up here, it really depends if these mag hold the bid and if semis can get going. But you should have paid yourself either way. But these are like final targets for the day. All right, and if you go into a grind up here, you want to be very careful of pushes and fails up here because of how we built this profile. You should have paid yourself some no matter what. I'm just going to wait now. I don't want to trade in the middle of this. By the mags, do I need mag 7? I do indeed. Yes, sir. Is it better to have 25 to 50 point TPs because my TPs are 100? Your TPs should be based on what's available in the market. I don't believe in fixed TPs. I believe in TPs based on what's available in the market. It should be based on structure. Same with stops. That's for me personally. Like, if you're in a case where you just want to keep locking 25 points, you do you, but that's not how I play. Is IGV an important component? Yeah, absolutely it is. It's not as heavily weighted, but the fact that we're up 2% today on IGV is helping stabilize this market. We are swing long in IGV and a lot of what's inside IGV right now. We're starting to move. It's good. It's so good. Yeah, some of my swings paying. Robinhood paying real well right now, approaching 31% up on that. So I'm up 27.5% on Microsoft. I'm up 45% on Apple, 26% on Amazon, about coming up to 31% on Robinhood. I'm up 25% on Adobe. I'm up just under 200% on AMD. We're up 14% on SoFi. We're up about 7% on Meta. I'm up on Oracle, small but up there. Looking to add into that on dips at the moment. What else? We're up on SpaceX. Yeah, we look good. Portfolio's looking good. Tyson trading coming? Maybe. I mean, we can be in a rotational day. We'll just have to see. At the moment, they are holding higher lows and building out liquidity in this node. All right, there's your pin low today. Higher low, higher low. This is internal range versus this right now. They're building out this. Buyers want to protect this. Sellers want to protect this. And they're building out range, which is why I am now sat still. Do you explain the swing trades in real time in Discord? Well, not really in real time. Swing trading is a little bit different, but I'll say like what I'm interested in, the level I'm interested in, why, and we draw it out. And then we talk about targets. The swing trading is a bit different. I put like limits out there to get filled. Some of them get filled, some of them don't get filled. I'm not like actively watching it the same way I'm watching every tick on this. Like, it's the nice thing about swing trading. You know, you buy good assets at good prices, they're going to pay you long term. It's just about waiting for the asset to come into those prices. I bought the course over the weekend and working through it. In regard to joining the Discord, I don't see anything yet. It's at the end of the course, my friend. If you want to do it earlier, just zoom down to the end of the course. It'll tell you what to do. Can I share the settings for anchor volume profile? Yes, 2 ticks. That's basically it. I have it 2 ticks. You can have it set to 1,000 rows. That's all you need to change. Anchor to the New York Open. That's it. That is quite literally it. There's nothing else. Super simple, super easy. New high day, yes. So breadth of market must be really good today. What's lifting? I mean, that's not great that energy's lifting. It's probably a bad sign overall. Healthcare green again today. Energy's lifting. You can see the weak sector over here, semis. All right, this is what's causing the problems right now. INTC, was it them or Dell that didn't announce the offering? It might have been Intel. Was it Intel that announced an offering this morning? I thought so early when I read that. I think it was them. So that's probably why you're seeing some weakness in the tape there. Mixed board. It was Intel. There you go. Thank you. Stocks was looking disgusting. Yeah, it was just stuck at that 137, isn't it? It won't break lower, and it can't get through its VWAP, so we're just stuck. And everything else is doing the legwork. It's a big old rotation developing. Again, I would remind you, all right, get in the habit of understanding where you are. If you've got the real estate for it on your screens, right, where are we? We are at the top side of this right now. All right. Really, to get going, we need to break out and hold above this. I would imagine this week, if we're going to do that, this would be the target, wouldn't it? Why? Well, it's the top Bollinger Band. What else is it? It's expected move on the week. So if there is a squeeze, that's where it's going to get us up into after rotating this. Otherwise, if we keep failing to break out here, or even if we break out and we come inside, we're going to keep rotating this, right? Weakness doesn't start until we come under that. Right, the market's told you what we like to do here. Look at this. Look what it did last time. Do. All right. Test bottom, test top, test bottom, test top. Test top, test bottom, test top. Fail breakout, test bottom, test top, bottom, top, breakdown, reject, lower. All right. We can expect this in here. 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 All right. We are in a giant range, right? This is the biggest range of the year, bar this move that we had, this point of control down here. But I think after this week, I would not be surprised if it flips. Really wouldn't. Is it still possible to go back down to the daily low? You're asking a lot at the moment. Is it possible? Anything is possible, my friend. We're not going to rule anything out. But at the moment, value is being built here. So you've got two big areas here. This is where buyers are going to protect or do their best to protect. This is what sellers are trying to protect. Remember, it's the daily level. All right. If we get acceptance through there, there's potentially a squeeze up through here. All right. That's where we're at. All right. Sellers, buyers. Value. Can we expand value? Or do we fail the expansion, come back down? To think about this, I think is probably fairly unlikely at the moment, all right? Because you would need to get through this LVN and undervalue and go expansion. The only way that's going to happen in my mind is if MAG takes or fails previous day high, or takes it and fails, and if the semis break 137s, and if we get a slowdown over here, all right? Let's just zoom this out so you understand, right? Here's your software. Push, fail, 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 push, fail, 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 but no breakdown. Here's MAG. Dips, absorb, 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 absorb. Previous day high here. Software. Bid. Right, big bid. All right. Out of hardware into software. Dude. Out of one into the other, all right? Washing machine. That's what we're doing. ES flying, yeah, like we said, healthcare and energy is strong. That's not really a good look for the market overall when you see energy being that strong. That's normally a sign of problems ahead, but we'll see if it's a bid for a day or a start of a continued bid. If you look at crude's back above 80 and it's 3.31% back. And while the market's like, hey, energy's up, you've got to understand that is a bit of inflation warning there. It's not an indicator, it's a drawing tool. If you read above what you just asked, right, what Nightbot just said, I trade using drawing tool, anchored volume profile. It's set to 2 ticks and is anchored to the 9:30 New York Open. Blue and red boxes on my chart are higher time frame S&R levels. Grey boxes on my chart are key levels of volume. There you go. Literally says it there. Says it there for you. All right, guess who's breaking down towards low of day? You guessed it, semis. All right, so let go 137. They are attacking the IB low. We're now in this area that buyers will want to bid out from. If they fail to bid out from here, you will see weakness start to come into the market. MAG is also failing to get up to previous day high, and oil is starting to really get shifting to the upside. So could we see a full rotation back down to value, down to here? Yes, is the answer. If they fail to now trade back inside 50s, it will leave buyers at those highs stuck. So we can consider it if they fail to trade back inside. It's not the ideal kind of trade because we're not at the top of the range, but we will watch this in the trade up to see if they fail 50s. And that first poke definitely failed. There's an imbalance up to 57 if they want to come a bit higher. And then we'll see if we can get short. Apparently not. Apparently we're just going to run away. All right, semis lower day. See how quickly that changed? Semis lower day. And pulling back and everything now has the ability to trade lower together, unless semis do a fail breakdown here. Where's the imbalance? 55s to 57. So I'm going to look to see if we do this move here, and I'll be TP, 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 and runners. If we reclaim this and hold, there's absolutely nothing for me to do. You got to lift a bit for me. I can't do anything here. You got to lift a bit for me, son. What's this level? 40s. I'll watch 40s, but I want it higher. Well, there's the 40s fail. And they're going to come check previous day value area high here into the 800s. Fuck me. Once it moves, it doesn't real back test very quickly, does it? If at all. Not going to chase this. I'm going to let it come back up, ideally. If we lose value here, we rotate yesterday's value again. And that will be the short like this morning. I would much rather this comes back to 1450s to give me the play. Otherwise, I'm going to have to lean on this now. Semi's getting washed out here. All right, I will watch this here. From here to 20s if that fails. I feel much more comfortable getting short at 40s and 50s, but I will watch it here. We've just rotated the whole of value, like we just talked about. I don't know, it could only be 3 minutes ago we just talked about this. And again, where did we just fail on the daily? Where did we just fail on the daily? Oh yeah, there. Okay. Just talked about it. We're in a rotational zone. Here comes the wash, man. I'm not going to get Phil here for Scooby, am I? You don't want to fill me anywhere today. Thank you. You are an absolute bastard to me today. got to wait for a pullback to get filled into here. I'm not going to short down here. Just going to rotate. Can we get a pullback to short into? Are you going to let it happen? Back into here somewhere. This might be all they give. That might be it. If they just reject value and New York Open, that might be all they get. I'm trying to wait for it to come up here if it will be so kind, but it's very heavy. Like we said, energy breaking out to the upside is not a good look. Yeah, I'm looking at the 1 hour candle. I have it on my chart. We came up to value area high for current week and rejected the same level we talked about this morning towards the 900s. Right, it's the same. This blue line. I'm watching it on my chart all the time. But we just come back down to test the same level we were at this morning. So the bottom side of this is 777s. Can't really do much with that very quick fail. I need to wait for it to come up here now and then make a decision, and then we can try and get short into it. And it's going to be tough because we're going to rotate value. So value players are bidding this. Ideally, we can lift a bit higher. I'm looking to short this pop as we start to squeeze up. I'm going to watch 20s here, if it will come up there. And I'm going to watch 40s and 50s. That might be it, man. That might be all it does. I'm starting to lean on it now. I'll add for the break here as well, if we can stay heavy. Small size here. Didn't quite get much of a fill there. And I'll add on this break if we stay heavy. Here comes the break. Are we going to stay heavy here? There's lots of imbalances down here. Still holding. Where are those players? 40s. He's waiting for 40s like I am. Right, mags into VWAP, expecting a bid out of VWAP here. Let's see if this will lift. If it will lift, it would be even better. If they will lift this up to 40s, it would be even better. I'm small size here at previous day. I'd much rather it comes up here. I will cut and then add some size in here. If it will do that, I will also add for a breakdown under this if we stay heavy. So I'm tiny size here at previous day value area high. All right, back to this same level. See if they want to break or not. As I said, semis finding a bid at VWAP as expected. Semis, mag, sorry. And semis can come down. They're into demand zone now, all the way down to previous day low, 3140s. 3170s, what is that level? 3140s-ish, yeah. All right, are you going to give me the ad here, or are you just going to keep absorbing? More absorption down there. See how quickly this changed? Once that broke, we got the sell, mag coming with it, IGV pulling back. I'm looking for this and then this on these names. So far away. Be patient. All right, I'm going to add on the break if we can fail 790 here on a retest. I'm starting to add into this, and I'm going to try and cover down to 760 where we were earlier. So I'm adding into this now versus 90. Don't want this reclaim here. There we go. Ads. Nice. All right, let's see if we get 60s. Do not want it to break back above 90s. That'd be a really bad look, especially now I've added some size. Looking for covers down at 60s if possible. Someone's bidding 70s at the moment. I want to just take them out. Come on, get me down to 60s. Get out of this 70 guy and give me 60s. Get out of my way, Mr. 70. Go away. Let it come and retest these guys from earlier. Reducing size there. Happy to add back in, but I just reduced a bit of size here. Still looking for 60s. And then under 60s, I'm going to look for 40s and then lower day. Problem is, if Mag and Semis find a bid after this wash together, this can squeeze all the way back up here very quickly. So I reduced some size. Okay, back to value. Here comes the bid off VWAP on Mag. It's the first reaction of Semis. I expect a push up and then I expect a resell opportunity. And if we break through here, I will cut and then look again at 40s. Yeah. Still rejecting value. Still holding on to this all the time. We're rejecting value here. Semis might need a 136 back test. That's the only thing after the sell. If we do that, we will come up for this 40 zone. Just try and let this work. If they hold this and break, I'll cut it and then I'll look for the same trade we originally looked for up here. Starting to see them hold value area low here. I want to be very careful. Reduced more size here. I'm half expecting that squeeze up to 40 to come. And then I want to hammer that when it gets up there. Big buyer coming on the tape. I think Mag needs to test 69.30 at the moment. 69, yeah, 69.30. Come on. Either break down or squeeze out. Don't go nowhere. I don't mind if you squeeze me out. All right. Cutting this now, and I'm happy to start a new position if we can squeeze up further towards 40. If we start breaking down again, I'll just rejoin the same position, but I just want to give this a chance to get to 40 if possible. Give me a better entry. No, you can't do it. You're just going to reject that value again. Fucking, is that a tick again? You absolute shitbag. That's the second time today. You've done me by a fucking tick. Ain't my fucking day today. All right. 2 trades by a tick. All right, Semi's coming back up. Come on, come back up and then give me the fade after a squeeze. It's in balance at 21 to 23. We're really thin at 40, which is where I'd love it to poke up to. Might be asking too much. Semi's failing here again. Can't even get to IBL at the moment. Be careful here. What I'm looking for, ideally, is this shove up where these buyers are sold into. And I'll be like TP1, TP2, TP3. What I need to be careful of is this holding here. So at this pullback here, we need to respect this if it happens. I'm trying to use all this weight up here, which remember is also a daily level as weight for this move. I'm just looking for that to sell into ideally. If we break down under here, I'll be forced to have another go at it, but I'd much rather up here. Much, much rather. Well, what's an iceberg sell? It's someone refreshing. So it's a seller, a big order that keeps just putting in the same order on the same spot over and over again. You ain't going to lift it for me, are you? You're just going to eat my stops and give me no follow through when I wanted it. Please, 20s to 40s, go, send it, squeeze it out, and then give me the short afterwards, please. Good, go. Right, here's the first imbalance. Higher the better here. I'm going to watch IBL on semiconductors, and I'm going to look for there to 137 to reject for sentiment. And 69.30s ideally on the mags. That's the imbalance tagged. There is a buyer starting to try and walk this up now. He's at 810s. Let's see if he's legit because he keeps flashing. You've just pulled your order again. What are you doing, mate? 5s now, back into 10s now. There's someone there. Come a little bit higher. Get them a little bit higher. Previous day high here on ES. This is all the key level here where I think we're going to fade around here soon. I would love it to come higher because we'll get much better risk reward if we can squeeze higher first. I think they're going to stuff it because it's been one big fail. It would be a first bounce short. We just need to come up higher the better. If we come under value again, I'll consider it under previous day value, but I would much rather we lift here at the moment. I'm looking for it to lift to short, all right, to make that clear. I'm not looking for a long. I'm looking for it to squeeze out to short. If we start staying heavy here at 800s and 90s like we did earlier today, it'd be the same trade downside. That might have been it, just to the imbalance, and that's it. Let's see if pops start to fail now versus 807s. All right, I'm feathering into this, folks. I'm starting to add into this now. If we break down under 90s, I'm going to add more. Holding 90s for now. Let's see if they stuff 7s here. What's the time here? We got time. We got time. Right, if 807 pops and fails, I'll put some more size on. If we also flush underneath the value area low here and stay heavy, I will also put some more size on. Just trading a thin call here at the moment. Here comes a wash. Right, adding into this now. Versus 90. There's the 90. Need that to stay heavy. Otherwise, I have to reduce my size again. And then let it come to 807s. Adding more there. Can we break down here? Mag, get under that VWAP and stay heavy. Come on, semis. Stop fucking about. Looking for the trade down to 60s, 50s, and 40s here. I've got to watch my sizing here at 90s. If we squeeze back out, I'm going to have to reduce and then add more on at 807s. Just trying to play with the core here. It's very tough trade here, looking for expansion down in this node. But I'm trying to use these trap players now to move down into here. Semis, you have to fuck off, semis. Really? Don't even try it. Don't even try it. Stay heavy at 35s, please. Good. Now fuck off. Down to 32s you go, please. I don't like this on semiconductors. I do not like this hold. I'm reducing more size here. Just leave my hands off for a minute. That's the 7s test. I'm not adding any more size. I'm back down to a small core here. Semis should be breaking lower after retesting the 136-ish and rejecting. The fact that they keep coming back for the 35s is making me uncomfortable here. Here we go. Now they're going to do it. Now I've taken all my sizing off. All right. I'm going to watch 90s and 807s again. And these sellers at 05s and 15s and 25s need to walk down. You need to come down here, please. Here we go. Fucking hell. They don't make it easy on a Monday. All right, remember we're looking for 60s, covers into 60s. We're going to repair this auction at 70s, and then we're looking for 60s, 50s, 40s at low of day. And I don't have enough size on now. Right, towards the 60s. What do we get there? 65s. We're looking for a 60 retest, ideally. And you see how we're leaving these buyers up here stuck. This is the move, right? Once we saw this, we talked about this move. I would have loved 40s. We got 20s. All right. And then they did some games. We're trying to get down into this now. Trying to walk it down into this. All right, mag into PDC under VWAP. If they start selling the mag, if they start selling this together, it would be really useful. All right, it would be really useful for us if these come in together. We don't want compression and relief here. Just my only concern right now when I keep looking over at the Soxal, they are being a little bit shitty with it. All right, into this area. I wanted to see follow through after that retest, and I don't like that they're not giving it. All right, I wanted to see this move here be complete. I don't like that we're starting to see compression in here with a failed breakdown. It's very, very dangerous, which is why I reduced my size earlier, because they should have done it and they didn't. And that's always a story. If they should do something and they don't do it, you have to pay attention. Now, we are holding above 60s. Remember, we're looking at these players from earlier. Right, this 400 lot here is still being protected. If we get under him, if this player here starts to feel the pressure and has not exited full, then we're going to have about 800 lots of buy side in 60s and 50s, which will become sell side pressure. And that's what I'm looking for the market to do at the moment. Whether it can do it or not is a whole different thing. All right, mag's holding close at the moment. If they fail to break down here, do not fight it and do not hold on. All right, do not hold on to this, because they fail. If they fail to make new lows versus this, right, this opens up and this can still be repriced. So do not fight it and do not oversize here. Here they go. Semis, they do not want to break down. They're coming back for that initial balance retest again. And if they get through that, they're going to go 137s. And they're now starting to see MAG fail to move higher and semis finding the bid. And here's the relief. This, for me, will be a new fresh position up at 840s if it will allow it. And that's what we'll be looking for. I still think this fails. This probably needs to come up higher. Let the trade come to me now. I need this up to 40s at this point. Can see VWAP and previous day value area high is being rejected so far. No doubt about it. They're heavy at this. I want this squeeze out. I think it's a much better trade if we squeeze out and then fail. You're in a Hail Mary long since 53 with a 100-point stop loss. Why? 53. Oh, that's down here. Oh, sorry. You're down here since this morning. But it's giving you the trade though. That long's played out for you. Unless you're just like small size left and break even. You shouldn't be having a 100-point stop loss now. If we've moved that far away from you and we come back to that area, that's not a good sign. That's really not a good sign, right? Because look, we broke over that. Look, we were short versus value, short versus value. We broke over value. We're long versus value. We're long versus value. We've now created liquidity at the high, and we now have significant buyers trapped at the highs. We're now breaking down back to POC. If they break down under value, we rotate value again. We will possibly rotate this again. So if you were long here, I wouldn't be risking 100 points lower. That makes no sense to me. Oh, 853s. Oh, mate, you're fucked. You're fucked. Sorry. Like, why? No, you're fucked. You're way out of position. You're with all the longs at the highs that are trapped. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Like your only thing right now is hope, and hope is not a trade. It's a gamble. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. Like, it's hope. It's just hope. That's not trading. That's not trading. It's just hope. I'm just being honest. We all get fucked every now and again, but just being honest. Hopium. You're smoking that hopium pipe. Don't smoke the hopium, man. Bad for you. Anyone else tired? I'm so tired nowadays. We've all smoked the hopium. Of course, it's part of it. But it's not a thesis. Like what? I don't understand. If you're long at 53s, maybe you were long like, I don't know where you were long here. That's your break. That's the out. I don't understand why you're risking 150 points. That's skewed risk. Like, I don't understand that. I just don't understand it. Why not cut? And if you really like that level, get back in when it comes back up there again, if it really proves to you. Because you're now you've got all this above you, underwater. You're at the low side of this node, and all those bars are underwater. That's why I want to be short in this right now. I'm trying to get short versus this for this move. Ideally here, against you, basically. I'm trying to use your pain to move lower. All right, let's see. I'm going to watch this 90s again. Semi's looking a little weaker now. They failed like 3 attempts a previous day. Initial balance low. Mag's coming back for VWAP. Mags can afford a drift up to 69.30s if it wants. I don't want to get short too far down because we are having compression here. But if we start to leave these 90s again, I'll consider it. Much rather take a short 50 points higher. I am using this pet like I am though. That's the truth. That's the truth of it. I'm not saying it to be an arsehole. Like I promise you, I'm not saying it to be an arsehole. I'm not. I'm just trying to make you guys understand. You've got to trade what's in front of you. Not what you hope, not what you wish. None of that matters. You've literally, when you trade, you have to trade what's in front of you. All right. Mags failing previous day. ES failing previous day high. Mags back at VWAP. Let's see if they can push and fail. All right. I'm waiting to see if these make a new low, and I would like this to push and fail. That's what I'd like to happen. Whether we get it or not is a whole nother thing. We're running out of time now, 40 minutes to lunch, but this is looking kind of weaker. But like we said, the targets for the shorts are 60s here. I've got no notable size on. I'm still in it, but I have 0 notable size in this. I'd rather be stopped out of this and have it come up to 40s. I will watch this 90s now. See how we've left this liquidity now at 90s? We'll see now if we reject that. That's where we played at earlier. See this? It's the same level as earlier, which was key. All right, we'll see if they reject this. Can we get this move back to 60s? I would really like to get short up here, though. That is a good location right now. It's a really good location. That's a 90s reject. That was just it. That was literally just it there. Do I add back in? It feels so iffy to add back in there. Size. Already tried once. I think we might need to let this break out a little bit on the mag. Oh! Which add-ons when purchasing the course work with TradingView? Well, anything that says TradingView. It does say in the description, mate. So Ninja Trader, anything that says Ninja Trader is not for TradingView. Flowzone Pro TradingView works with TradingView. I'm not sure what else you mean. Right, this is still breaking lower by the looks of it. We're going to come and test that 60s. That was another 90s rejection there. Maybe I'll have one more go at sizing into this here. I don't want to be late. We're coming down for that 60s. And under that, under 60s and 50s, pressure really starts. So let's see. I'm going to try and add some size here. Here's the 60 test. I expect a reaction. And if we break below that and break below 50s, the game start of lower. Here we go. Here we go. I'm in. I'm peeling some off, and I'm going to add heavier and heavier and heavier if we break below 50s. Never give me the trade when I want it, do they? They never give me the trade when I want it. Like I said, no offense, but you are fucked. You now, I mean, you should have been out a long time ago, but you now definitely should be out, the guy that was long. I'm not being horrible. I'm not saying that. Like, we all make mistakes. I'm just being honest with you. I'm being honest with you. All right, TP's here, and if we break below 50s here, all hell breaks loose. Now, the only thing that can save these longs are the sellers caught at 740s. So I've paid myself some in there, in towards previous day point of control. I'm looking for all pops to fail now. Flow zone spectral footprint. No, like it says, it's for NinjaTrader. It does say there what it's for. Right? It does. It even has it on the box. You can't see proper order flow on NinjaTrader. They can give you estimates, like even this and this. They are estimates, but they are not real order flow. It just can't read the data properly. If you want to read order flow, you need to get off TradingView. Truly, if you want to really read it, you want to get off TradingView. All right, let's see if 90 stay heavy still. Now, protecting previous day point of control at the moment. Let's see if they want to give any more of a wash or not. ES holding at 0 line. MAG holding PDC. Failing to break lower there on semi so far, but still in the bottom side of the range, building liquidity. Feel much more comfortable when we're under 60s here. I've already paid myself a good chunk on these drives. Back down to a small call position. And we'll see if they fail 90s. And if they reclaim 90s, I might be done with it for the day. That might be it. There's 90s. There's no seller walking down. They're all sat up at 825 being wallies. Who's above you, though? No one. Where's 825? Maybe. All right, mags look like they're going to start breaking. Upside, I mean, for that 69.30 retest. So they've got a squeeze coming, and we might see lift here through the 90s. What's the orange lines? Globex. Globex. Rejected 90s again there. Liquidity's just come into the market for this half an hour spot. Rejecting 90s again there. So you can see the importance of this 90. It's been the level all day, over under. Mag's trying to get to 69.30. Semis are approaching low of day again. We're in a rotation again. I'm still sat in this because we're not breaking 90s. And we'll see if we can get back under 60s here. It'd be a vibe if we could. So we're in a variation of this same trade from earlier around here. Right, and I've been adding in, and I'm trying to get, where's that buyer to 40s? I'm trying to get down to here. That's where I'm trying to get, and then I'll be runners all the way down here. Trying to get down to 40s. We've had a few attempts, but it's some form of variation, the same as this earlier. It's exactly the same trade. So now we have significant liquidity trapped above us. You're adding more short. I'll just be careful. I've added quite a bit down here already, and then trimmed some off into 60s and 50s. We'll see. If we stay heavy under 60s and 50s, maybe. But just remember, we've got huge selling caught at 40s. So we gotta get those sellers in the money and those buyers at 60s and 50s out the money. Looking better though. All right, low of day attempt here on the semis. Let's see if they can break and get down towards previous day low, which would really help us. Mag's finding a bid at VWAP. 60s is still being bid here, so that same level as earlier. They know, these buyers know, if they get under 60s and 50s, they are in big trouble. They absolutely know it. Come on, get under him. Get under him. Get under him. Come on, baby. Let's cause some pain. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun here. Here we go. 50s. Let's get under these mother cluckers. Let's cause the pain. Let's have some max pain moves. Let's get down to lower day. New lows on semiconductors. Come on, please. Stay heavy versus 60s would be a good indication. New lows, semis. Can we get previous day low on semiconductors? Will NQ follow? Mag back to VWAP. See if this will work for us now. So you've hit those first two TPs, right? 60s and 50s. Your next level is 40s and then low of day. And then under low of day, we can think about a full rotation of Friday's value and down here. But you should be paying yourself into this range. And if you have been short in this, it's the same level, right? It's the 90s which are important. You must keep rejecting 90s. Exactly the same trade as earlier. Look, exactly the same. This level. Mag back to PDC. It's good. If they fail PDC, it really help us. Right at PDC now. If they snap this, it will really help us on the mag. As long as semis don't find the bid. As long as they don't rotate and they actually go together, it'd be nice. These could just go the downside pressure together. It would be really nice. Here we go. Back to these 50s. We get under this, we go 40s, and we're looking for lower day, and then we're looking for expansion down to 690. Here we go. Lots of liquidity down here to fill on the book. So they do want it down to 720 right now. So close to getting there. Remember, sellers are caught at 40s. So 40s to 20s must be a cover for you if you haven't already taken some off, which you should have. It's also the zero line here. This is our final target. If we get really lucky. If we get really lucky, we'll get that. Oh my gosh, if you are new here, please do me a favor. Read the Nightbot, what it tells you before you go asking the questions. We've traded the same way here for a long time. While I appreciate you might be new, maybe do a little bit of studying first, because I'm not going to answer the same question every day. for the rest of my life. It gets really boring. All right, whoever just asked that question, look at what Nightbot just said. Read that. Again, I am not Google. You are more than capable. If you want to be a trader, I would suggest, no offense, you use some of your own brains. I am not Google. It's very easy for you to go and search some of the questions that some of you guys are asking. All right, I'm not here to babysit you. I will teach you how to trade. I will tell you what I'm executing. I will not babysit you. Please stop. Very easy to have a quick Google. Okay, Semi's trying to hold the bid at low of day. Mag's now under PDC. They're going to backtest PDC, and we're going to see if they stuff PDC for new lows here. If they don't and they reclaim and Semis won't break lower, then we're going to struggle to move lower for the session. I'm still in the short, trying to see if we can move back down. I'm trying to see now if we can get down to here and then down here. All right, I've already paid myself on the way, and we'll see. Right, previous day's point of control here as well. It's a big level from Friday. If we break this, we can rotate. If we can't break this, and if we start holding above 60, I'm probably going to get out if we start basing above 60. The 60s. Come on, Semis, play ball here. Definitely buying absorption down at these lows. They hold 60s here, I'm out. Out. I'm out on that. Can always get back in. Well, we should have broken and we're not. They're taking too long to complete the move. Watch Semis flush lower day now, and I'll just laugh. I would just laugh. It's fine. Make good money on that. Sellies at these low of day are still not getting their way. All right, that's why this move you in a bit. This level at 40s was key. All right, so the sellers at lower day is still stuck. Buyers have been stuck with these. We needed to let these sellers out for increased move. So this can come right back, fill these imbalances back towards 70s, maybe even back towards 90s again, because we're now over 60s, which is why I'm now out and done with it. And we'll just see what's next. That might be it for the day. We've only got 20 minutes left. Remember, they never came back here. They can still come back here later. I'm going to set a price alert up here if it will let me. Oh, nice. All right. Well, if I can get a move up here later, that is something I'm interested in trading. Move that down a bit. Why did I decide against keeping that runner on? Because we broke back above 60s and now holding 60s, right? We should be breaking lower. So I've seen absorption into 40s a few times today, and we broke back above 60. So I took it off. Now, I can be wrong here, and we can still break lower. That's fine. But we're not breaking lower quick enough for me to feel comfortable. Maybe I'll regret it. That's part of trading. It's okay. But, you know, we captured, as we were adding in, probably captured, I don't know, 50-odd points here. Target is still down here. But you can see we keep absorbing 50s and 60s and 50s and 60s. Once that breaks, you're going to get the move to 20s and 85s. But at the moment, all these sellers from earlier in the session from that move at 9:40 and 9:45 this morning are still stuck. And here's the break back above 60. And this is what I mean. This can go and reprice. And that's the concern. You're not seeing follow through right now in the semiconductors, right? They're not making new lows over here in the semiconductors. All right, they're holding the lows. And you're not seeing MAG's breakdown, right? MAG's just holding its position. It's not really flushing hard against PDC. So we're not seeing like the big move. So once we reclaim 60s, we expect that reprice back to 90s, which is where we are now. And if we get through 90s, then probably a reprice to 800s, right? All the way up here. And as I started to add heavy in for those like big aggressive moves down, I had to cover, and then my core position as I cover moves down. So I don't want to give money back on the trade. Thoughts on the big put support at 750? I don't really have a big put support there. It's down here really. Unless you're talking further out. I don't have anything there. I've got nothing there, mate. Not even end of week. Where are we at end of week? 500s. No, I don't know what you're talking about. 750s. I don't really see huge put support there. See a neutral zone. All right, so another fail breakdown from semis. They're lifting back up again. Mags has reclaimed PDC. We just squeezed right back up to 790s again. This is the same level as area. This is same area as earlier. This is your over under, whether they reject this or not. But buyers now can defend 760s. Sellers will try and defend 90s. And just like earlier in the day, this will become a rotational zone. And we're now in a D shape where they're clearly not willing to let go under here. And they're not willing to print back up here yet. This will be the really nice trade if we can come up here later. That's it, folks. There isn't much else we can do with this right now. There isn't a whole lot else you can do with it. You're either long 60s or short 90s, and both of those right now have become worse and worse positions to trade as we're building out more and more liquidity in those zones. How many likes for a costume stream? I don't do costumes, mate. 41. We ain't doing a costume stream. It ain't happening. Costume stream. Fucking tell me you're into cosplay without telling me you're into cosplay. Get out of it. All right, here you go, 800s. So can you see where I cut? Can you see where I cut? Fail to break down, squeeze back out, up to the upside, make their decisions up here. Yeah, furries entered chat, exactly. What just happened? Go back to ICT, furries. Oh, God, it's funny. And here comes the lift. All right, now, remember, they can still visit all the way up here. So they've held value. They've held previous day point of control. They fail to break down. They squeeze back out. We take this off here, 60s. Here comes the squeeze through the 90s, re-squeeze, previous day value area high. If they get through that, they come and test this 40s, and then they make a decision up there of what's next. Yeah? Mag 3 PDC coming back towards VWAP. This is going to go previous day value area high now and check that. And then I'm interested in what happens all the way up here now. Look at this. So failing to break lower, this is what we were talking about. Failure to break lower is normally the trigger for the squeeze. There's your failure to break lower through the 60s, and then they go. So why you've got to understand how the market operates so that you can position yourself the correct side of what's about to happen and stop out to reduce your damage. You need to understand what's happening. This was a highly probable move back up here, which is why we stopped out. And if they keep basing it, they can get up to our level, and then I'll be interested if we get up that to that level. At the point of control here. See what they want to do with this now. VPOC on the day here now. See if they're going to bid this up here, and then I can make a decision. I'm just rotating everything right now. What do I think about nanos, Frankie? I mean, I don't think anything. If that's the size you need to trade, then it's good for you. You're just going to have to check the volume. You might find that there's no volume on there. I can't imagine anyone's going to use it as a hedge like they do with micro. So that's going to be your biggest problem, is the slippage on volume. I would imagine anyway. We'll see. When do they open up? Like August 24th or something, I think. What did it just bounce off? Well, it rejected previous day value area high, and it's trying to find a bid at New York Open. We've done nothing today in the New York session, so you understand. We popped, we failed, we rejected New York Open, we rejected New York Open, we reclaimed, we pushed, we held, we pushed, we trapped, we failed, we washed, we held, we're back. This is where we started at 9:30. Nothing's changed, all right? Just a whole lot of build out. No way we're just rotating and building liquidity. Like, why on earth would we think that we might rotate and build? No way. No way. No way we might just rotate and build. No way. No way we might just rotate and build liquidity within Friday's range. No way. Or within this from last week. No way. All right, this is why you look left. It's highly probable that we do this. And honestly, I think we're going to do it for a while. All right, unless that CPI print is a big miss or a really big beat, I think it'll be priced in, and we might do this for a while, folks. On Spectra, can you see the lots in the bubbles? Yes, right here, mate. Tells you the number. See? Tells you the number. You can have it set to delta. You can have it set to order number. It's up to you. Do they have Power Rangers in the UK? Yes, of course. Fucking Power Rangers, man. What are we doing? I'm 41. What's just happened? What's just happened? It's the 10th of August, 2026. I'm 41 years old, and there are people in here talking about Power Rangers. What just happened? What happened? Oh, I'm just going to get my Furby and Tamagotchi out now as well. Like, what is going on with you lot? Oh my God, someone talking about Barney earlier wants me to dress up as Barney. What is going on with you? I'm worried for you guys. I thought you just smoked hopium. Now I'm wondering if your weekends are a little bit different to my weekends. Are you smoking something else? All right, I'm waiting to come up to that level that I've got the price alert. I'm waiting to see what happens if we can come up there. That is what I would like. Range day, people are bored. Hey, I mean, fair enough. I'm bored. I don't think I've ever been bored and thought about a Power Ranger before. But there we go. I'll tell you the best money I've spent this year. I reckon this is the best money I've spent this year. Right. This. Of all the money I've spent, this might be the cheapest thing I bought this year. This is the best money I've spent this year. I think it was like $40 or something. Got everything on it. All the old Mario Karts. I mean, you guys had different things here, but Master System, Mega Drive, NES, SNES, PS1, Golden Axe. Oh my God, what a game. That's the best money I've spent. All right, let's see. Starting to lift here, which is good. We'll see if we can come up here and then fade it. If they come to the edge of this range and get stuck, I'm interested in it. Especially if semis start to reject either IB low or 137s. These are starting to come into the areas of interest for me. The higher, the better into this zone. And I will try and fade a squeeze out here. Adding liquidity up to 55s at the moment. Hopefully it doesn't fail too early. I mean, I'll show my age. I had Golden Axe on the Atari. Some of you probably don't know what an Atari is. Or a Commodore 64. All right, getting close to these levels. Right, I'm interested now. I'm going to just delete this because we're there. Got it on stream. We'll see if we reject up here now, because we're going to fill in this tiny low volume node, and I want to see if sellers start to participate passively here in this lift for this squeeze to be sold back down. And if they don't, then there's nothing we can do, but I'm watching this carefully. They're adding liquidity to 62s. And then we will respect the downside here for the structure back into 820s if we do get it. We're not going to have a lot of range to play for RR-wise unless the runners start to go. All right, semis back to IB lows. This is the key level. If they trade through here, they're going to go 137s. Big buyer coming in here, starting to perk my interest now that I'm seeing aggressive buyers start to participate. As long as we stuff them, we'll see if there's a turnaround coming. Market's really woken up here. Lots of liquidity has just come on the book. So that last buy was at 35s. Tempted to put a feeler on versus him at the moment. I'm going to try and wait a second. See if these sellers at 50s are going to walk down. Where's that old imbalance? 55 to 57. Mate, tape's really woken up. Tape has really woken up. It was dead and dull, and it's just woken up the last 3 minutes. Still sellers all the way up to 70s at the moment. 53s, that's where they all are. Right, some guy's got a little caught there. Just watching this IBL on semiconductors here to see if they're going to bid and hold to 137s or not. So I'm looking for pops to fail and then start the rotation. Just depends whether they want to fill this imbalance at 55s at the moment, I think. And we're going to have to pay close attention if semis want to go 137s, because if they reclaim that, it's pretty bullish for the session. All right, value area high here. Not convinced the high's in yet. No sellers walking down yet. I think we still need a swipe. We are starting to get extended, which is good, but the more extended we get, the better. All right, this is better. I want them to accelerate, and then I'm waiting to see if there's a seller that's going to absorb. All right, semis have held IB, so they're going to look for 137. So we just got to let this keep drifting until the turn comes. If it comes, it might not come. Check that buying activity from earlier. We're into where those buys were, 53s. Yeah, if they're going to stuff this, they've got to stuff it soon, really, into these 53s. And still, sellers are adding liquidity to higher. They're not really walking down. We didn't fill that imbalance either at 55s to 57s. Until lunch, 3 minutes. Am I bullish? No, it's just a rotation. I'm waiting to see if we fail up here. If we don't fail up here, then there's probably no more trades for me today. Then they'll just keep ripping this thing higher, and that's fine. Two-sided put right now. No edge. I want to lean on it short. There's some absorption at the highs, but we didn't feel that imbalance. They just came just short of it. 53s was the area earlier that buyers got stuck in this morning over here. Right, these guys here. So it's the first test of them. The fact that we haven't like rejected and come straight down and that we're holding is not a good sign for short selling. I remember we're in positive gamma again. And the drift can start again. What do you mean the market's a joke? 2 hours we built liquidity and then 10 minutes it did it. I mean, this wasn't 2 hours here, mate. It's like 45 minutes. And then when we talked about the importance of the 60s, right? The moment that broke, 90s, then they held, then they've pushed, all right? This can now pull back to here. This is what I'm waiting for to see if I can get this sell, and then I'll be done for the lunch session. So I'm watching it. But if they keep just printing and printing, we don't fight it. All right, that's the first time I've seen passive sellers step up here. Why are these guys adding at 75s though? All right, semis back under IB. They're still adding higher. Someone's playing games here. Here we go. See? They're still adding higher. They're trying to drag it higher. They're not really intent in selling this back down at the moment. They are adding loads higher. And this is a big shove. There's a big volumes just come in here, buy side. Gotta be news of something swirling around. Oh, it's just fucking Iran news, but it's nothing. Iran and Pakistan foreign ministers talk about the Hormuz talks and a defense pact in a phone call. Great. I mean, wow, they had a phone call. Great. Great. Not heard that before. Do I want to play this now? I'm not convinced now. They can pull back and hold 35, 24s, and 11. So I'm not giving myself a whole lot of room if I do want to lean on this short. ES rejecting IB high there. Semis holding IB low. Mags moving back up to that 69.30 level. This is the level, 69.30. I think this will dictate what happens. Reason I'm saying that is where all the buyers got stuck this morning once we broke down. We'll see if they become sellers in the mag or not. And that'd be the same as the NQ. If they don't become sellers and we reclaim, we can't rule out new high of day. Cool J, don't tell me what there is and what there isn't. All right? You don't know that. If your thesis saying there's no short to 900, that's great. But don't tell me, because this is what I'm looking at based on the broader market. And if it sets up, I will take it. And if it doesn't set up, I won't take it. But with all due respect, I don't care what you or anyone else says, because I will always trade my system and I won't be talked out of it by anyone. That's it. I will play my edge, right? Not your edge, my edge. At the moment, there's no position because we're holding. Mag right into this pivot here, 69.30s. Semis failing. Pushed up, failed in front of 37s, pulling back, holding IBL right now. This is all about whether they can get back inside their balance for the day. There's absolutely nothing to do here yet. We're just basing. We're into lunch now. It's dead. Right, I'm watching this now. I'll watch 40s to see if they absorb. Where was that buyer? 35s, and I'll watch 45. I'm going to give this like 15 minutes into lunch just in case they want to do something. Mag's really turning around here. So like Mag's finding the bid off the lows. Semis finding the bid. It's just whether they get stuck in this same level from earlier. Right? Same with Mag. Do they get stuck here from earlier? Is this pullback going to happen during lunch? All right, watching this very carefully. Get rid of that. Where's this buyer again? 35s. Supporting the bid down to 20s. They haven't filled the guys up towards 70s yet. Zoom out. Yeah, it's just a two-sided tape. If you're looking at this book map, There's no one. These guys keep lifting higher and higher and higher. Bids aren't really like forcing their way up. They're just sat. So I think that's it for lunch. I don't think we get anything here. I'm going to give it 4 more minutes to the top of the hour, just in case. But I can't really see it playing out. There is absorption from sellers at the highs, but it's right into this node where I'm interested. MAG is now rejecting that level. And semis are holding IB. So it's all about whether we get follow through now on the MAG and semis. Let's see. I have to remind myself where this buy was. 35s. Here it comes. It's starting. All right, let's see if pops fail into 40s, 45s now then. 35 should soak. If they pop and fail 35s, then we should get follow through under 40s. Then move back down and see if we can start getting some fills here. And what does the move back down? 15s to 20s if they do it. Was a buyer stuck at 50s, which is good. See if this can pop up so I can get some fills for the sell. I haven't got much range to play here with here. Is this even worth it? What am I going to play for? 20 point TP1. I don't even know it's worth it, man, for 20s. 20s and teens. I'll stick a little piece on just in case. Right, I'm short there in towards 40s. It's tiny size. I don't even know if it's going to be worth it, to be honest. But it will be worth it if it lets go of everything, but I can't see that happening. And we're looking for first covers in towards 20s here. So that's the first imbalance there, starting at 29 down to 25s. So I'll try and get some fills into that down towards previous day value area high if we can. And they can bid out from this, right? Because this now can be bid out from like this. So it's this short down into here. If we get lucky, that move comes. I would expect, given this, very good chance that they can hold. So we're short looking for this move here. And if we get lucky, we get more. All right, here's the start of the imbalances. See if we can get down to 20s here. Here we go. Oh, what would you know? Alex is right. Right, here's the first covers. And then really, it's very simple now. Runners. All right, and if we get lucky, we get 800s, and then we get all the way back to the lows. What do you know? What do you know? Alex sticks to his edge. He doesn't get talked out of anything when it comes to trading by anyone because he's been at the charts long enough to understand what's happening. You must pay yourself some here. They can, I will tell you now, they can absorb this bid and go back for highs if they want. All right, so you need to be paying yourself some good money here. And your stop really should just come back down to protect. You can protect VWAP or previous day close because technically speaking, if they break through that in 40s, then they're going to start going for the highs, okay? And look what happened. All right, what happened? Oh, there's the pullback. Oh, there's the pullback. All right, how do we time these? Because we understand the bigger picture, all right? We understand what's moving the market. What did we say? 30s? Did we say 30s? All right, this shelf here, all right? Right, that's what we looked for, right, on the mags. I'm looking for 30s and then a sell. All right, you would rewind the tape, said it a million times. IGV, sorry, Soxal, right? We're looking for this move here and then the fail. There it comes, all right? Now, if they bid this out, we go higher. If they lose this bid, we get these runners to work, all right? Again, there is a difference between me and other traders you'll watch on YouTube is I will try and teach you what is happening and what I'm looking for. If you use your ears, you will start to understand. If you're here for signal botting, I mean, you can signal bot me, but you will never learn. And we just see if a runner goes or not now. We just hit first target anyway, and deeper, so let's see. Bearish continuation. It's just a range, guys. There's no, listen, there's no trend in this market at the moment. I want you to understand that, all right? There is no trend in this market at the moment. That's why we have to like pick and choose our areas very carefully. These are my least favorite markets right now. All right, if we break back above 35s, I'm done with this. That'll be done for lunch. All right, I need you to listen to me. While this was a bearish trend for a short period of time, and this has been a bullish trend back up, we are now in a liquidity building stage of this market. All right. Everyone right now is calling for new all-time highs because ES has got there. I would be very, 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 very concerned about a giant trap happening. I'm just going to say it. It doesn't mean I'm predicting it. I don't predict a thing. I'm just saying I'd be very concerned if we cannot break and hold above this and ES starts to roll and we get a bad CPI print, all right, and CL starts to break out and we get inflationary pressure, right? We might see this again, right? And once we come under here, if we can't reclaim it, we might see this again. I'm not convinced the bottom's in. I'm happy for it to be in. It's absolutely no problem. But everyone getting really bullish up here, like why, right? Why? We're not out of anything yet. We're not out of anything yet. And I would also be concerned. This is very clearly, it has to hold that. That's simple. The moment looks good. You start losing that, you are in trouble, all right? You are in trouble. And I've gone off numerous times, right? Markets, if they do top, I'm not saying this is a top, they do top, they can take a while to top, all right? Everyone thought this was the top, then this, then this. It did this, and eventually it broke down for a long period of time, all right? It was the best part of a year, right? They take time. Don't be predicting markets. Let's just day trade what's in front of us, right? Respect what's in front of you. Couldn't agree more, JD. Could not agree more. Bottoms are a moment in time, tops are a process. I could not agree more with that statement. Spot on, mate. Bottoms happen like that. Tops take time. It might not be that it's top. It might be that we have another push for the rest of the year and we're going to go for 35,000. I don't care. I'm fine with it. We're going to be here and trade every day no matter what. But all these guys predicting because they want the likes on YouTube, you know, it's very, or on Twitter, most of it, to be honest. It's very simple. 50% of them are going to be right, calling the top. 50% of them are going to be wrong, who called the bottom. Yeah, we're either going to be higher or lower, right? Our job's to react to the levels. It's just to react to the levels. All right, RBS is starting to be held here at 20s. I'm ready to get out of here. All right, this is starting to be held. This is where we've been covering. All right, you have two choices. If you're short from these pushes, all right, you're holding a runner, and really you need to see weakness under this fat node, all right, and then maybe you get weakness. If you're long, all right, you're looking for this to fail to break down under here, to hold some kind of bullish pattern, to start to curl and hold, and then you're looking for that acceleration back up, all right, and you need to respect the levels that you just broke down from. Again, your sentiment, I cannot say it enough. You have to understand what is taking place here. Let's clean this up, right? This is from your open, right? This is your semiconductors. Okay, very simple. Why was Alex looking to get short at that level? Semis were likely to fail here. Guess what else was likely to fail up there? Mags, all right? We had alignment that was likely to get stuffed because these are likely to fail in those areas. That's what we've just seen. That's why we're currently short. That's your alignment. That's what you're looking for. There's your edge in the market that you won't get elsewhere. All right, looking good here. Here we go. All right, let's see if these runners will go. I'm going to cover a bit into 800s here. Point of control, previous day, New York Open. So 85. See if we can get filled to 800. Might need to cover that 85 at New York Open, to be honest. A blue line on your screen. That was probably it with point of control. Double point of control. That was probably it. Missed my fill at 8s. Just trying to get filled down here. Dick for a tick there. Right, we'll see if they stuff 20s. If they don't stuff 20s, I'm out. Because I want to go and walk Luna and get some food. All right, I'm out on this. That'll do. Missed my best fill down there by, what do we miss it by? 3 points or something. How are we doing on the likes? Are we good for a giveaway? Let's have a little look. Am I looking long here? I'm not looking anything now, mate. I'm done. But like I said, you can look long here. All right, if you want to look for longs here, if you want to see if this is willing to base and hold and look for that, you can. But just remember, you're into lunch now. And again, sentiment, right? You got to look bigger picture. We're nowhere near. Not even half of you have clicked like this morning. That means at some point, 2,000 of you people didn't hit like. Did Sonic reach out? Yeah. I've been going backwards and forwards with him. Don't worry. A few people reached out, actually, in all honesty. And I am in the process at the moment of, let me just get the email up, of setting up, let's open this up. Oh, it's not showing me. Of setting up a charitable donation to 988 via the stream. We'll get it figured out. It's just what you guys are going to be comfortable with. Hey, you guys answer me this, all right? So this is what I was thinking about doing this week, but some of you might not be happy with it. Some of you might. All right, you guys answer me this. I've got 50 Apex accounts to give away to celebrate Flowzone Trader getting to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. What I was thinking of doing, okay, was doing it so we did a charitable donation to 988, and the first 50 people to donate X amount get a free Apex account. What do you guys think about that? Sorry, 100k subscribers. Sorry, yeah, 100k subscribers. What do you guys think about that? So it wouldn't be completely free. This is the problem, right? Where I'm like, is it unfair? It wouldn't be completely free. So it would be like a donation of $10 or $20 or something. I'll figure it out with them to charity. And the first 50 people to do it would get one for free. And that way we're supporting all those people on stream and off stream who are having mental health issues. So it's, yeah, it's a charitable donation. It won't go to me. We'd set it up. I'm already in talks with them. It would be, I have to find it again. I set it up last night. Let's try and log in here. It would be to Vibrant Emotional Health if we do it. I'm already a big donator to them, mate. But I'll add more. But I have a relationship with them already. And to Crisis. Do it random, not the first 50. Okay. Do a random. Okay. All right. Fair enough. So all I've got to figure out with them, you have to use a company called Tradeify. I've got to figure out how I can get your details, because there might be, this is the thing I'm trying to figure out. I think there is obviously Data Protection Act for you guys, and I would obviously need the details of the person, including the email, so that I could, when we draw it at random, so that we could send the code. Yeah, that's fair enough. The first 50 is problematic because of the time difference. That is fair enough. That I hadn't really taken that into consideration. Yeah, Aaron, it would always be AI. Everything I do is like a sweep on AI. Yeah, maybe that would work, Nikki. Screenshots of confirmation from Vibrant. Maybe that would work. Yeah, maybe that would work. So we'd do the draw, and then we'd have to hope the people are live on stream when we do the draw, so that they could email me. Anyways, I'm in chats with them. I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, for those of you who are concerned about Sonic or anyone else, I've been in talks with them this weekend. Various chats with various people. Everything's all right. All right, everything's okay. But yeah, I'll get it done this week. I'm in talks with the charities, trying to figure out how to do it. I'm not going to collect the charitable funds. I don't want there to be any misconception about that. I'm not willing to collect this. This goes through a direct company who you choose the charity, and they hold the money. So it has nothing to do with me. It would go nowhere near my accounts. I want that to be really clear, very transparent and honest about that, and it would go direct to the charity, and they take no commission on it. If you want to look the company up, it's called Tradeify. It is built specifically for streamers and people like that, so that we can donate to charities. All right. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow morning. We go again, and we'll see what we get. We see what we get tomorrow. What I'll be watching for the rest of the day is twofold, right? If you're going to see this hold now, this is the type of pattern we just talked about. If the buyers are willing to hold this, the targets are still high of day, and then all the way up here if you get lucky. All right, high of day, and then effectively 30,000, and then expect to move if they can get to the max standard deviation on the day would be 120. All right, otherwise, if they keep failing up here, all right, if this is a fail to move higher, you'll come back into this range, and if they lose that to the low side of this range, this is the D shape for the day. We won't see true weakness until we come under that, because we're still inside value, right? This would be inside value's play from yesterday. I'm not too bothered about the rest of the day. I'll set some price alerts at some extremes, but we've had, pretty nice trades. That last one was pretty small. Like we talked about, there wasn't much room in it. All right, but still 30 odd points. That's it. Job done. All right. Was that 4 trades? 3 trades? 1, 2, 3, 4. Job done. That'll do. All right. Peace and love, everyone. I will see you tomorrow morning. Trade safe, all that good stuff. And yeah, use hard stops. Take care.